It's launch day.
Ta-da!
Yes, today is the day that Armageddon comes out, and as we are no longer part of the YouTuber Games Workshop Shield program, Murray, you had to buy it.
Yeah.
This is your box, right?
This is mine. I want orcs.
Orc boy, okay.
Orc boy.
So today we are going to take a look at this box and we're going to talk about, is it worth it to buy this? We had a very well received video about the Ultimate Starter Set, and we're kind of trying to do the same thing, doing a bit of an evaluation of the box. It's 11th edition 40k, it's a huge thing, everyone's going to be talking about it, and damn it, we wanted to talk about it. So let's open the box.
What's in the box? In the box. What's in the box?
Star White.
Do it. It's a heavy box.
Warhammer.
You reckon it's heavier than the other sets we've had?
No. I think that's similar to Leviathan.
Yeah.
But I think they did get bigger and thicker.
I feel like Skaven Tide was actually heavier. You can tell it was tightly packed because there's like rubbings of plastic on the inside of the box. So I've got two identical Ork Sprues. In terms of orcs in the box, it seems like a pretty good deal, honestly. It's going by the metrics of the current points and everything. It's about 750-ish points. Got your troops, boys. You never leave home without them. Every orc army needs boys. Unless you're doing something really specific like just war bikes or something, you're always going to have boys around. In terms of characters, every orc army will either be led by a war boss or by a mech. And this kit gives you a war boss and in fact a big boss as well, like a lieutenant sort of thing, as well as a weird boy, which is fun. You get some psychiness. You get a psyker to do some psychic shenanigans, and you also get a banner boy, which seems to be a newish character. It used to be just a knob that was equipped with a banner in a unit of knobs, but now it's a full character. That's awesome, and the model is absolutely sweet. And of course with Games Workshop, all these characters buff certain units, so they're usually pretty advantageous to take when you're having an army. The outliers in the box are of course the big stomping Daka Dread shooty shoot McShoot face. That's really cool. It's novel, so you get points for that, but also it's a big centerpiece model for your orcs, which is really important when you're collecting new force. You know, you really want that sort of spectacle on your tabletop or on your shelf. The other one is the War Track. This one is pretty optional, I think, for most people, but it's really cool that they're bringing them back. Oh, and of course, I nearly forgot. 10 Gretchen. They're always underfoot and they were in the back of my mind anyway. In terms of your bang for buck within the box, if you take your rough, literal half of the set, $250 worth, ignoring books and whatever, you're getting 20 boys. In Australian dollary dues, they're $70 to $80 for 10. And so this is why these starter edition sets are so attractive to a lot of people. You get what feels like a lot of money's worth from it. Take it with a grain of salt. Is that worth it to you if you think that, you know, oh, hey, I can get this many orcs to start an army for $250 if I split it with a friend. That sort of thing does kind of become worth it in my eyes. Clearly, I agree with this because I bought the damn box. So you may agree with me or you may laugh at me and call me a fool. You know what? I don't know if this is a lukewarm take, but I like that the fact that they're push fit, you get the interesting dynamic poses. Orcs have sort of been guilty of the
They look like
pose.
Orangutans. Their asses are popped out and their heads jutted forward.
Hell yeah. So I think I'm a fan of it. We'll find out once I build them.
To me, I'm so happy to see new war tracks. Like, I'm old. Yeah. So I think Dawn of War 1, war tracks, like when I went into local Games Workshops as a kid, war tracks were everywhere. So yeah, it's good to see them.
3 big sprues for orcs, two of the boys, 1 big machine, 3 sort of the character half sprues of characters, as you'd expect, and then 1 long sprue of war track.
Who doesn't love a good Space Marine? You might be wondering what Space Marines are in this box. Probably not, because Games Workshop have been promoting it everywhere, but I'll run through them quickly so you know what we're talking about. And while all of the Space Marines are painted as Blood Angels on the core box, They're not actually modeled with any Blood Angel details, and you can paint them however you damn well please. However, I have heard that the Games Workshop stores are all being ordered to paint them as Ultramarines, which if that's true, I just think is kind of funny. People get so salty over this stuff, but like, who cares? It's funny. The Space Marines are led by a captain with a relic shield, a chaplain with a jump pack, and I have to say, my personal favorite model in this entire set. He looks great. We have a librarian poking out his staff, probably my least favorite character on both sides in the whole box. I feel like this sculpt, this guy has been like done before. I saw him and my brain said, this model already exists, exactly this model. And I know it doesn't, but he just is doing absolutely nothing new. However, for new players, he will be a great magic wizard man for your army, which is fun. There is a chapter Ancient, which is a fancy Space Marine way of saying a guy with a big banner. 10 Space Marine Intercessors, notable for now having a smattering of the old design Space Marine armor through the squad, which I think overall they just look more interesting than the old Primaris Intercessors. There are 5 controversial Vanguard veterans with jump packs. Controversial because to most people they just look like Assault Intercessors, and they should be festooned with more detail. Either way, they're pretty cool models in their own right. They maybe just didn't hit where some fans were expecting them to. There are 3 Eradicators. These are heavy infantry and Gravis armor with heavy bolters, a good all-round weapon. And there's also the brand new redesigned Land Speeder, which I think is a fantastic homage to the original without changing too much of it. The army winds up to roughly 750 points, making it a really good foundation for most Space Marine lists. I think if you're looking at high-end tournament play, this kind of advice is irrelevant, but just talking about casual armies, putting them on a table, the core foundation of 10 Intercessors, a couple of heavy guys with guns, a couple of assault guys with jump packs, a land speeder to move around the flanks, and then some characters really is a great foundation for any army. If you do start with this and you're looking to add to it, I might suggest getting something that can deal with harder targets, as aside from the multi-melter you can put on the land speeder and the missiles on the land speeder, a fragile scout vehicle, there's not a whole lot in here that can punch heavy targets. With that said, the massive number of anti-infantry shots will probably mean that the Space Marine side of this box just shreds the Orc side of the box every time if you have a face-to-face. Overall, on the visual of the models, we've looked at the Orcs and now we're looking at the Space Marines. I think they've done an excellent job with all of these sculpts. I think it's really easy to look at this box as someone who already plays Warhammer and see nothing for you, like the Space Marines that aren't pushed far enough or aren't doing anything unique enough. However, if you look at this through the lens of maybe like a 14-year-old coming into the store with their parents and getting excited about Warhammer, this is a really cool representation of what's awesome about Space Marines. So overall, I think there's some pretty great contents in this box. Maybe you got a box of Armageddon yourself, but maybe you didn't. Either way, you might want to dive into the worlds of Warhammer 40,000 while you're on a bus. Anywhere where you can play Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus is a good place. There are currently 120 champions from 21 playable factions from the universe of Warhammer 40,000, and it's a fast-paced tactical game with heaps of different game modes. So there's something for you. If you like PvE, if you like PvP, I personally love PvE. I love challenging myself to take on the legendary release events and try to unlock the greatest characters in the Warhammer universe. Now is an amazing time to download Tacticus. With the 11th edition launch, they're celebrating with a huge 3-week event with heaps of offers as well as freebies and some great stuff to try in game. The celebration will be themed about Blood Angels versus Orcs, so you can take those imaginary battles you're thinking about while you assemble your Armageddon box into Tacticus and maybe bring Yarrick back onto the battlefield to fight some Orcs in the event. Tacticus is one of the only mobile games I've ever actually stuck with, and I've been playing it for years. So if you do enjoy mobile games, please try it out. The link is in the description, and we actually have a special code as well for those who do play, TTTgeddon, and you'll get some free goodies as well as Ahriman shards, because Ahriman is Murray's favorite character in the game. Mine is Exetor Rowe, but that's because I'm a sweat and I've got him to Mythic and he's good for raid battles, but you know how it is. The Space Marines feel very, very, very concise. We have one double sprue, which is basically what I imagine you'd get in a box of the new Intercessors. There was a big negative reaction to this box from Space Marine fans, and I think the reaction was they didn't push it far enough. To me, I've assembled so many Primaris Intercessors, I know that this has like Mark 7 armor parts and stuff. Just glancing at this, I cannot tell this apart from the regular Intercessor kit. Like, it just feels the same to me.
This is a lot more subtle. I acknowledge also that they tried their best to make the Marines as vanilla as possible, so you know they weren't obviously Dark Angels or whatever. That's fine, but I think they could have also gone further back to like the Space Marine monk vibe.
Yes, yeah, and I think what's happened,
You know, tabards and stuff.
they've rescaled the Space Marines with the Primaris, and now they're adding in, to be fair and respectful to Games Workshop and the sculptors, they're adding in roughly the same amount of details that make things feel like veterans. But I think what's kind of happened is that the details are all now scaled proportionally. So you have these models that are much bigger, so they have these very small things on them. And the old models, because they were so proportioned funnily, they were festooned with details, like a single purity seal would take up a lot of area. It looks like there's so much less happening on them because all the details are proportioned correctly. So I think they needed to kind of like ham it up with the extra details.
Yeah, or like double the amount of stuff on the veterans as opposed to the regulars.
That's 15 guys and a character. 4, 5.5, 6 sprues, and a land speeder. What do you think?
I really like the new land speeder.
Please do this to every vehicle. I know.
Yes.
Look, I know that people are like, don't change my vehicle. Okay, you can keep using your Predator from 2001, but please. They are overdue. The land speeder tells you how good would it be to just get a new Predator, a new Land Raider as a Chaos player and whinging. I think it looks like a great kit.
Well, there you go. That's all the sprues in the box. You've seen the models online, but that's the sprues for you.
Okay, let's look inside. Games Workshop Special Pre-Torn Edition.
Nice. Love that. At least it's on camera. Yes.
Okay, straight off the bat, Games Workshop, you have definitely improved the packaging of these things. This is pretty, I like that it's pretty secure. There used to be, you'd always get like dents in your rulebook from all the sprues hitting it.
And it was like one piece of cardboard that was sort of folded around everything.
So these cases with the padding are very, very good, much improved.
Yeah.
We have our chapter approved cards.
Damn, well that's actually thicker than I thought it was going to be.
Same. The box also comes with 2 decks of cards. We have the chapter approved cards, and these are effectively your organized play cards. They contain your missions, your deployment maps, and things like that to allow you to play competitive and balanced games of Warhammer 40k. The second deck of cards, this one is called your Dominatus deck, and this is for those who prefer narrative play. For me, I'm not entirely sure why we've boiled down the Crusade system and narrative systems into effectively a deck of cards. I think that leaves it quite inflexible, not faction specific, unless they're adding them into data cards for every faction. I don't know, jury's out on this. I think I'd have to play it. So I don't really want to pass my judgment either way, but that's what it is. It's a deck of cards for playing narrative games, campaign games where you can score points and get special honors for your soldiers that might buff them, things like that. There are YouTube videos already out there that break this down in great detail, as people do get the box well ahead of us. So we'll leave that there. All right, we have Operation Imperator. Blah, 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 blah.
Very nice.
If this is a book, specifically it's a lore book, is that correct?
So, the book. Operation Imperator, that is the name of the Imperium spearhead into the 4th War of Armageddon. This book is full of lore. It's actually 114 pages in this hardback of just lore, new artworks, old artworks, and just sort of tidbits on the planets and forces of Armageddon and around Armageddon. And if you're looking to start a new force or getting into the hobby, it's actually really cool for, inspiration. Where could my orcs be based? It's inspiration for like boards as well. That would be really cool to see. In fact, log that one away for maybe a future video. That could be really cool. That is really fun and really nice. But if you want anything outside that in this hardback book, you're going to be sorely lacking. In fact, if you want to hear about characters, there's a double spread on Gazkal Thraka. No other feature on any other character. There's mentions of random Space Marine captains, and that's about it. So in terms of anything other than just lore and artwork, the book doesn't give you much. It's like a paragraph on every other faction in the galaxy. That's it. Instructions. Nice, yeah. I don't think there's anything different about the layout in this at all. They're all fairly good. The little stencil of what size all the bases are. That's nice.
Murray, I have one thing again. I request this, please.
What is it?
A huge change they need to make on their Sprues, Games Workshop. You number your parts. Now, in the rulebook, in the instructions, the part numbers don't matter. No one cares if we're gluing part 62 to part 21. That doesn't matter. What we care about is finding the part. So these kits, these sprues, should be numbered 1 through 99 with the parts next to each other. The numbering in the book should be made to glue together the parts as they're laid out on the sprue. Don't put, right here I can already see it, 32, 33, 54, 59, and yeah, I get it. It's a clip together box, it's probably easier to work out, but I have recently made Games Workshop kits where I would add tens of minutes to my build because I'm looking over sprues like this, because the part that should be...
Where is the bit? Where is the bit?
It's numbered next and it's on the third sprue from the right, even though it's the next chronological number. Just number the sprues in an easy to look for fashion. A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, blah. B, same thing. And then the rulebook can say, fetch C12 and B1. So much easier. And if that happens, I'm directly taking credit for it. Rulebook.
Interesting.
Tiny rulebook.
Yeah, interesting. I thought it was going to be the other way around. We've got a small softback rulebook and then a hardback operations manual. Wasn't expecting that.
Well, the actual rulebook you purchase is softback now.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And so limited that my store could only order 2. The box also comes with a range of Datasheet cards, and these are an invaluable play assistant for those who prefer not flicking through rulebooks or looking on apps on their phone. It has all the rules of your models, and they're very easy to read and reference. However, I do find the ones that come in these launch boxes have a very, very short lifespan, because both factions typically get a codex not long after launch, and if you're into Datasheet cards and you want to buy those if they come out with the new codex, you'll get another copy of all of these anyway, and often the rules change because these were often written quite early. Of note, some stuff in here seems really powerful, like the intercessors having effectively all the bolt rifles combined into one with a crazy rule that lets them shoot 4 times each, hitting on 2s if they stand still. To me, that seems bonkers, just off a War Scroll card, but what do I know? I just play Chaos Space Marines, our bolters suck. The main thing I was hoping to see here was to get a sample on maybe what paying for war gear would look like, but not one card of anything in the starter set has war gear you can buy. But honestly, I'm not surprised by that. It's a launch box with clipped together models.
Each boy has a shooter and a chopper and a slugger.
Why? Why, Murray?
Because then they do what they want.
Why? Is it because they can't balance ranged combat and melee combat? Cool. Well, there you go. That's the unboxing, and now we have to carefully put it back so you can split it with a friend, and they will be none the wiser.
But you know, that's why we're here. We're going to talk about the money facts of life.
You got that?
So to answer the question of, is this box worth your money? I wanted to do some digging back in time and take a look at the prices of these Games Workshop launch boxes. So it's pretty obvious the price tag of Armageddon is hefty. £185, 240 euro, 295 US dollars, and 495 Australian dollars. Now, before I get to my evaluation, explaining whether I think you should spend your $500 on this box if you're a big lover of Warhammer, I did want to point out some funny little things I found while researching this. We're all aware of a concept called inflation. This basically means as years go on, cost of goods goes up and the value of your money goes down. And to look at this, let's go all the way back to Dark Imperium. 9 years ago, we have this amazing box of Plague Marines versus Space Marines. This box was £95, 125 euros, 160 USD, or 260 Australian dollars. Now you can already hear in this, it's almost half the price of Armageddon today, and that is 9 years ago. So that box was $260 back in 2017, and if you adjust for inflation, what $260 is equal to today, it comes out to $335.70. Now you notice that's significantly less than the $495 retail price of the new launch box. It's actually 47% higher. So that means on top of inflation, Games Workshop have added an additional 47% on top of the price of the box. So what we're seeing across the board, and what we can see when we look at the numbers, is Games Workshop put some price hikes on their products, but most of it happened during and after COVID, which suggests there was a significant lift in costs as well as a concerted effort for Games Workshop to maintain a constant profit margin. Games Workshop as a company is doing extremely well. Their minis are profitable and they maintain the profitability by ensuring that whenever there are global cost rises, that they pass those rises onto you with a profit margin. So overall, you can see there's a picture here. There's a picture of inflation affecting prices, and there's a picture of Games Workshop increasing prices significantly above the rate of inflation. Should you buy Armageddon? Is it worth the money? Well, the answer is, relative to other products on the market and relative to Games Workshop's own products, yeah, it actually is. It's 490 Australian dollars, and that's like a lot of money. It's less than a box of collector's boosters from Magic the Gathering. You can't get a console for that kind of money anymore. It's more expensive than all of them. Hell, a new retail game is like 120 Australian. And Games Workshop, they'll release a box of 5 models for $100. So compared to all of that, the box is great value. Just remember you're buying into a very expensive product and they set the price. It's gonna keep rising. It's not gonna stop unless you stop buying it. The choice is really in your hands. Buy Armageddon, get hype, or don't. Doesn't really matter. I'm not buying it. It's the first edition. I'm not. Murray is. He loves Orks. That's great, but I don't need Orks or Space Marines. I got so many unpainted Space Marines, and I don't really want to collect Orks. So I guess the answer is it good value for money? By the standards of the company that sets the prices, it's great value for money. Buying the individual components separately will never be as cheap. However, it is almost certain that they will come out with starter boxes. So if you don't want everything in this box, I don't think you should FOMO jump on it. I don't think the data cards and all of that are necessarily important for every player. And if you're a new player, it might be worth waiting for the starter boxes that are going to come out in a couple of weeks or months. Have they been announced? No. Could I be wrong? Yes. Have they followed the same pattern for Age of Sigmar and 40k for like the last 6 to 9 years for every single release? Yes. So is it highly likely? Yes. So all I'm saying is maybe if you're not sure, just wait. Don't let the FOMO bite. There'll be still really good value starter boxes, typically comprising combat patrols and terrain at really good added value. And you might not end up with a book and some data cards that you're paying for that you never even wanted. It's a cool box. If you want it, buy it. It's your money. If you can afford it, make sure you cover your essentials first. And that's it. This is an odd video. It's an unusual video, and it's one we've done especially for the launch of 11th edition. As we said, we no longer are on the influencer program, which means we don't get early access. We got to do what we can. And while we're not going to make a heap of videos around the edition launch, it's big news. It's what everyone's talking about. So hey, we're interested in it too. It's fascinating to look at this stuff. Obviously, that means we have nothing to show for reveals. So the patron scroll will be gliding past me with all of the beautiful patrons. And I'm going to play something entertaining that I figure out when I'm editing this video over my own face as the scroll continues. Thank you to the patrons for supporting the channel. You guys are truly amazing. And thank you to Tacticus for sponsoring the video. We appreciate the support of sponsors, especially as the channel is recalibrating and learning what we're going to be doing in the future. And it really is a fun game. I've played Tacticus for years. And in fact, we have some open slots in our guild. I'll put a screenshot here, and if you are a player who's been playing for a while and is looking for a guild, wants to play with us, Murray and I and our guildmates, jump in. We got some empty slots. That'll be it for this video. Next week, we have a really cool hobby video. We're gonna be making some stuff, and we're gonna be pretty much back to that from now on. So don't expect to see more talking videos for a little while. I started editing parts of this before I started filming this bit, and I was like, man, this really feels like a YouTube video from 10 years ago. So yeah, let me know if it felt like a YouTube video from 10 years ago as we endeavor to do some cool stuff next week. See you, everyone.